I gave up lucid dreaming techniques and mastered lucid dreams. And if you do the same, so can you. So here's a wild thought. What if lucid dreaming isn't about following strict techniques, but developing a natural flow and an understanding of how your mind works? And yes, I know this goes against all the conventional wisdom regarding lucid dreams, but I've been lucid dreaming for 42 years and spent my life studying this subject. And what I've discovered is that lucid dreaming techniques are a bit of a dead end. So in today's video, you're going to discover the different types of lucid dreams, why lucid dreaming techniques will only get you so far, and the philosophy behind effortless lucid dreaming. And this is the kind of video that you can choose to watch or simply listen along to. It doesn't really matter. So let's jump into why giving up lucid dreaming techniques will help you to master lucid dreams. So let's start at the very beginning. What is a lucid dream? A lucid dream is a dream in which you know that you're dreaming whilst you're dreaming, but you also have critical thinking skills. Your prefrontal cortex is switched on, so you have a clear mind and you know that you're dreaming while you're dreaming. But there are multiple different types of lucid dream. They can be broken down into two main categories: dream-initiated lucid dreams, dreams in which you become aware during the dream that you're dreaming, and wake-initiated lucid dreams, dreams where you fall asleep consciously, retaining awareness as you fall asleep. But these aren't the kinds of lucid dreams that I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the different categories of lucid dreams and lucid dreamers, starting with spontaneous lucid dreams. Spontaneous lucid dreams are exactly what they sound like. They're lucid dreams people have when they didn't intend to have them. So many people will experience these a handful of times in their life, sometimes more depending on the individual. They require no techniques whatsoever and are normally instigated by things like medications, changes in sleep cycle, or even stress during waking life. Spontaneous lucid dreams are most people's first taste of lucid dreaming. They rarely know what's going on. Sometimes it can be a complete shock, and some people even mistake it for astral projection. The important thing to remember is that spontaneous lucid dreams are something like a mental hiccup. Something in the person's life or psychology instigated a series of variables that led to a lucid dream. Many spontaneous lucid dreams are the result of thalamic gating. When you're asleep and dreaming, your brain filters out sensory input, but some information will get through to the dreaming mind. This is what thalamic gating is. And if you're on holiday and it starts to rain and it's noisy, that information might just trigger awareness in your mind, giving you a spontaneous lucid dream. So people who are sleeping in unpredictable environments, especially when it comes to noise, are more likely to have spontaneous lucid dreams. And that leads us neatly on to technique-induced lucid dreams. These are the most commonly discussed types of lucid dream. They're the ones that virtually every video on YouTube is trying to induce. And there are so many different types of lucid dreaming technique. There are the scientifically validated techniques, such as mild, the mnemonic induction of lucid dreams, but then there's the whole host of community-generated techniques. Filed, siled, the list goes on and on. Lucid dreaming techniques are a bit like recipes. You follow very specific instructions with the hope that you'll end up with a certain result. Essentially, they're kind of a brute force approach to lucid dreaming, and people are trying to recreate certain conditions that people would experience with spontaneous lucid dreams to induce lucid dreams artificially. And while this can be a useful approach for beginners in a similar way to how training wheels are useful for people learning to ride a bike, it can be very restrictive and won't lead to lucid dream mastery. And then there's lucid dreaming as a mindset, as a lifestyle. This is what I teach here on my channel, in my books and my lucid dreaming tuition. This isn't about following simple instructions, it's changing how you think about the world and how you think about yourself. If lucid dreaming techniques are like following a recipe, then this approach is like becoming a master chef, understanding the nuance between how different spices and herbs work, understanding the difference in cooking temperatures, all the subtle details, all the subtle variables, and truly loving the subject rather than simply following instructions. This approach is flexible and fluid, but most importantly, when done correctly, it requires a certain type of effortlessness. So let's now talk about the problems and benefits of lucid dreaming techniques. At their heart, lucid dreaming techniques are a brute force approach. They're essentially trying to trick your mind into doing something it doesn't want to do naturally. And obviously, when you're learning a new skill, sometimes rote repetition and doing things you don't want to do is exactly what you do need to do. But you don't want to get caught up in that mindset. You don't want to start thinking of lucid dreaming as a series of recipes that lead to results. Lucid dreaming techniques really are like training wheels for a bicycle. No one uses training wheels thinking they're going to be using them forever. They're there to build confidence and to help you to understand the mechanisms behind riding a bike. And the same is true of virtually every lucid dreaming technique you can think of, and that includes things like reality checks. A reality check isn't a staple requirement for lucid dreamers. They're an artificial way of getting you to think differently about the world. It doesn't matter how many reality checks you do in a day if your thinking is incorrect. A good way to think about lucid dreaming techniques and practices is to consider them as lessons. Always ask this question: why am I required to do this? What is the purpose behind what I'm doing? Because it's not following the recipe that matters, it's why those things are included in the recipe. But there's also the psychological impact of lucid dreaming techniques. Now, when you start to think of lucid dreaming as an equation, so you do this and get that, you get caught up in results-based mentality. That puts pressure on you. It makes what you're doing feel like a chore. You stop thinking about why you're doing what you're doing, and you start focusing only on the result. And this can completely interrupt the entire process. It also means that you stop paying attention to what's going on. Remember, lucid dreaming isn't about control. It's about understanding the variables, understanding the uniqueness of every moment, and responding accordingly. If you're thinking in terms of techniques as recipes leading to a certain result, then you become inflexible, you become rigid, and those techniques will only work when the circumstances are in your favor. So let's now move on to how to lucid dream without techniques. Okay, so let's change pace a little bit here. We're going to rewind to back when I was 5 years old. Now, I didn't know that lucid dreaming had a name. All I knew was that I was having horrendous nightmares every night. And I decided as a 5-year-old to catch the moment I fell asleep and notice when I fell into the world of dreams. And as a result of that one simple practice, my entire mindset changed regarding my dreams. So let's put that into practical terms. I didn't know what dream journals were. I didn't know what reality tests were. I didn't know what a lucid dreaming technique was. But I ended up having nightly lucid dreams. How? Well, I wasn't dream journaling, but I was thinking a lot about the nature of my dreams. During the day, I was replaying the dreams in my mind, getting used to them, getting used to the flavor and the personality of my dreams. I wasn't reality testing, but I was having moments of mental clarity, of metacognition during my waking hours. I would simply ask myself occasionally, what am I dreaming right now? How would I know the difference? There was a single shift in my mentality, and that was, how do I catch the moment I fall asleep? How do I recognize when I'm dreaming? That shift in philosophy led to a complete rearrangement of how I looked at dreams and waking life. It wasn't a structured approach, it was an organic approach. It was an approach that came from within, through a fascination, through observation, through caring about what I was doing. I wasn't trying to force my way into the dream world, I was trying to build a map to understand the difference. And this mindset led to flexibility, because I wasn't following a structured approach. I was organically adapting to circumstances as they arose. Any moment could be a dream, and I had to always be prepared. And that takes us neatly into the mindset of a lucid dreamer. In Zen Buddhism, there's a proverb that goes something like this: sitting quietly and doing nothing, spring comes and the grass grows. In Taoism, there's a similar quote: by letting go, it all gets done. The world is won by those who let it go. If you approach lucid dreaming as if you're throwing yourself at a door, attempting to smash it down, you will come up against resistance. I see this in students again and again. It is only when they learn to let go, when they learn to relax into the process, when it becomes organic, that they start to see the results. We are not trying to tame the other. The dream world is not the other. It is you. You are building a relationship with yourself. You are understanding how your mind works. This is the only path to long-term lucid dreaming, to having regular lucid dreams. It's not that you wake up within your dreams, it's that you wake up to who you are. The same was true of the great-grandfather of Western lucid dreaming, Marie-Jean Léon Lecoq de Marquis de Herve de Saint-Denis, or Saint-Denis for short. He was a French aristocrat who decided he wanted to understand his dreams, and through sheer willpower, by simply observing and enjoying his dreams, he became a nightly lucid dreamer in just under 2 years through that passion and observation. Back then, lucid dreaming didn't have a name. There wasn't a single lucid dreaming technique in existence. But through critical thinking, through observation, through meditating on the nature of dreams, by building a relationship with his dreaming self, by understanding the nature of distraction, by understanding the nature of focus, Marie-Jean became a regular lucid dreamer. But of course, lucid dreaming techniques will work under certain circumstances because they are based on principles that are the kind of mindset you're trying to develop. If you want to have semi-regular lucid dreams, then simply following lucid dreaming techniques will give you that. But if you want to become a genuine lucid dreamer who understands the nature of their own mind and is ready to have lucid dreams under all available circumstances, then you need to change your thinking. So let's look at practical steps to becoming a lucid dreamer. An important first practical step is to stop thinking of lucid dreaming techniques like recipes. Instead, think of them as lessons. Why do they work when they work? Why are you doing what you're doing? How can I apply these lessons to a wider range of circumstances? Remember that lucid dreaming techniques are training wheels. They are to prepare you to do this on your own. Try to break out of the mindset that there are strict rules to follow. You are a unique psychology. The things you are doing are not recipes, they are not equations. For example, when you're dream journaling, when you're performing reality tests, you're not doing them for the sake of doing them. Simply going through the motions achieves nothing. Dream journals and reality tests are, if anything, a reflection of your interest in this subject. They should be done with passion, with curiosity. When you're recording your dream journal, you do so because you want to understand your dreams. When you perform a reality test, you're taking a moment out of the chaos of existence to reflect, to engage in metacognition, to question, could this be a dream right now? You are prepared in every moment. Remember also, you are not hacking your mind and you are not tricking your mind. You are your mind. You don't want to try to trick yourself into something. If anything, you're doing the exact opposite. You're trying to see through illusions. And the only way to do that is with honesty, with integrity, and with genuine observation. Don't get caught up in results-based mentality. This isn't something you're going to force. A lucid dream is a side effect of a certain way of thinking. It isn't a result. And try to adopt the same mindset from the Zen and Taoist parables. You are doing without doing, trying without trying. I know it sounds mystical, but here's an example of what I do when I'm inducing a lucid dream. If I wake up in the night, if I go back to sleep for a nap in the morning, whenever I'm trying to have a lucid dream, even though that's the wrong way of thinking about it, I don't think I'm now going to perform the mild technique and I'm going to make my brain have lucid dreams. Here's what I do. I lie down, I close my eyes, and I think to myself, okay, what's happening now? What are the circumstances? How do I feel? What is my mind doing? I'm going to observe. I'm not going to push. I'm going to watch. I flow with my mind. I adapt to the circumstances. I employ the lessons I've learned from all of my previous dream experiences. I become a chameleon of consciousness. And I certainly don't hammer at the door of dreams. I don't lay there thinking, when's the dream going to start? How can I remain lucid? How can I have a lucid dream? I let that go. I simply find pleasure in observing what is occurring. The dreams will come naturally. My awareness will stay naturally if I allow it, if I float in metacognition. This is doing without doing. Here's a really simple way of looking at it. When I'm laying on the shoreline between waking life and the world of dreams, the question I ask myself is this. Okay, brain, what's happening now? And I just watch and I let it happen. There is no inducing a lucid dream. You really let a lucid dream happen. Through regular metacognition, through a fascination with what it means to be alive, through observation, through experimentation, these are the fluid actions of someone heading in the right direction to becoming a regular lucid dreamer. Lucid dreaming techniques aren't bad. They're a useful starting point. They are the training wheels. They are the skills you learn when you first learn to play the piano. But the magic happens when you transcend that, when you move beyond structures, when you become flexible, when you adapt, when you observe, when you become the lucid dreamer. I'm Daniel Love, and if you've enjoyed this video, you may enjoy one of the videos on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.